Hey everybody, it's Minnie Fox, and today I'm so very excited. You know, I like to read, I like to write, I like to talk about reading and writing, and today I have an author who's far beyond his time on this world. His name is Todd, Todd Ledbetter. And the better has two TTTs. Oh my goodness, ladies, just get a pen and a piece of paper and let me talk to you about this amazing author who has self-published his first book, with book 2 in the making and book 3 to follow, and then some. Todd, welcome to the show.
Thank you, man.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
So we got some microphones around. We're going to have you to speak up a little louder so that I don't project louder than you. Ladies, he's sweet and he's debonair, but he got a little to him too. We'll talk about that later. Well, you're doing something very unique and special,
Okay.
and we are talking about one's self-esteem, one's motivation, inspiration, and how the work environment can cause one to overwork. And many times it's overrated or it's not done appropriately. And then you're left kind of in the trenches trying to figure it out. And that's what your book is kind of about. What to do when you get stuck. What to do when you're feeling a certain way. So when you wrote Hard Work is Overrated, what were you thinking in the moment when you got to chapter 4?
Chapter 4. Well, chapter 4, as I recall, is where we began to unpack some of these ideas.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole idea behind hard work was overrated is that for so long we've been indoctrinated with this idea that the key to having success in life is working hard.
Mm-hmm.
And I was certainly working as hard as anyone, but I just was not getting the results that I wanted. And after just kind of thinking and doing some studying, I began to realize, well, there's more to this than hard work. When you think about it, if you take someone like back in the day, Andrew Carnegie from my hometown of Pittsburgh, who at one point was like the richest man in the world, he was worth exponentially more than the guys down the street who were working in his steel mills, making exponentially more money, but it was not because he was working that much harder than they were. So it couldn't just be hard work. And as I began to look, I was like, well, what is it to this thing about hard work? And certainly nothing good comes without effort, but there's got to be something more to it. And on the cover of the book, we have a picture of someone trying to hammer a nail with a screwdriver. Okay, so that person is going to work a lot harder than someone who's trying to hammer a nail with, say, a hammer or even a nail gun. So just because that person is working harder doesn't mean they're getting more done. And when you think about it, the thing that makes the nail gun work is that it's connected to a power source. If it's an electric nail gun, it's connected to an outlet in the wall. If it's a pneumatic nail gun, it's hooked up by a hose to an air compressor. But it's hooked up to another power source, and that's what makes it work.
And so was all this in chapter 4?
Not in chapter 4, because I don't remember exactly what chapter 4 was.
Oh.
But
I can tell you.
Tell me.
Well, chapter 4 is in this book, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to bring it a little closer just so those of you can see it. And where are we finding Hard Work is Overrated? Where is it?
Amazon.
Amazon?
It is on Kindle, and it is also available in print.
Okay. So we have some book signings coming up pretty soon?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay, because we need a book signing.
Okay. Set it up, I'll be there.
We need a book signing because we want to know, what do you do? What do you want? Chapter 4.
Yes. Thank you. What do you want? That is such a powerful question. You ever notice, what do you want, man?
What do I want?
What do you want?
Or what do I need?
What do you want?
What do I want?
Yes.
I want a whole lot of things that we're not going to talk about on this particular show because it has nothing to do with your book.
Actually, it has everything to do with my book.
Nah,
if you want
not
to do
what
something,
I want. Now, what I want in the work life, obviously, to be successful, obviously, to do it there. No. Does he know that he's on the Minnie Fox talk show? Did you guys not tell him that he does what I say? Hey, you over there, let him know. Tell him Minnie Fox talk show. Stay focused. We want to talk about you, not what
Okay.
Mini Fox wants. I want to know when you created this book, there was
Yes.
something on your mind
Okay.
to come up with this title
Yes.
because a lot of people connect the hard work with the overrated,
Right.
but not in the perspective the way you did in order to put it in here. And you even have a section in here where one can take notes and kind of write down their thought process after reading your life's journey, because this is a journey here.
Yes.
Okay? So tell me, what was in the title? And just stay there. What was in the title?
Okay. Well, and there is a workbook available separately, and you get a link to that in the book. It's included with the purchase of the book.
Mhm.
And just the idea that working hard, just because if all you're doing is working hard, all you're doing is working hard.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been indoctrinated with ideas that, you and I were both like OG Gen X, right? So we're the last. I'm sorry, you're a millennial. I'm sorry, but
He called me a OG.
I'm OG Gen
What is
X.
a OGG? What category does that fall in? Because y'all know I turned 21 yesterday.
Right.
What
So
about?
you're a Gen Z. I'm OG Gen X. Okay. And I'm part of the last generation that was indoctrinated with this idea of go to school, get an education, get you a good job, work the best 40 years of your life, pay some bills, so maybe you can have enough saved up to spend the declining 20 doing some of what you want.
Okay.
Now your generation wasn't raised with that, but mine was. Okay.
So you better get that right.
Right.
Get that right.
So, and we have people that, they think the kid's working harder. How much harder can you work?
Mm-hmm.
How many hours is there in a week? I figured it out when I think there's like 168 hours in a week, something like that.
Right.
About 468 hours in a week, I believe. So there's only so many hours you can work, right?
Sure.
Because you got to sleep. You got to eat. There are other things in life you have to do, so that's finite. So if you want to say you're making $50,000 a year, what if you want to make $500,000 a year?
Okay.
You literally can't work 10 times more. So there's got to be something else to it. And that's the idea that I'm talking about in the book. And I as you read, I break it out in a narrative.
Right.
So it's a story. You're going to go along on the journey with these characters, but in the process, you're going to be picking up the ideas of the 4 key questions and the 5 steps of the goal mind alignment framework.
Okay. So it sounds like you have what, when, why, how, where, who, and why not in your book from the pages that I've been able to read and kind of figure it out. And you help to give a narrative for a person to kind of focus and go, well, if you thought about it this particular way, they could think about it the same way and kind of get through the process. Because what happens here when you have hard work and you're not doing too much anything else, I call it homework. You go to work, you go home. You go to work, you go home. Sometimes you go to work home, but it's called homework because that's all you're doing. And you get in this mode where you don't realize that that's all you're doing until someone comes along that's doing something different and you go, oh shoot, for the past 7 months, I've been doing homework and nothing else. I haven't seen friends or family or went out or did anything. I haven't self-served or loved myself because I've been serving others. Whoa, I'm just doing homework here. And that's when that hard work comes into play. So in that mindset, a person can oftentimes settle into a depressive state because of that. And I know in your book you cover that a little bit. Let's talk about that.
Okay. Well, the bottom line is, I believe that we're all here on purpose. Mm-hmm. That we each show up to life with a unique set of aptitudes, abilities, interests, talents that are our custom toolkit for the fulfillment of our purpose, for the fulfillment of whatever we were supposed to do in this little finite portion of life that we live on this earth. And the dissatisfaction that a lot of people have with their lives is usually stemming from the fact that they're not living on purpose. Mm-hmm. And your purpose is always about more than paying your bills. If you believe, as it says in the book of Genesis, that we were made in the image and likeness mm-hmm. of the Most High, I was in church most of my life. And as profound as that idea is, I don't recall anybody ever really explaining what that means.
Exactly.
What about you?
Well, it starts with relaxing. And we relax and we just kind of chill because we just got to figure it out in the moment and spend that quiet time in your own space. And a lot of things come to mind when you slow it down. Like he says, be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am present. Be still and know that I have your direction. Be still and know that I have written your steps in your journey. I've given you that empowerment so that you can be all that you can be. But you got to be still and focus and relax a moment. Hear the birds chirping, smell the roses when you walk by. Or unless you're in a city that got smog and you smelling something else, well, that's different. But what I'm saying is, on the reality, is to tune into you, into your own spirits, so that you can kind of understand. Because if you pick up this book and you read it, and this is a pretty powerful book, everybody. You pick up this book and you read it, you have to have your mindset. You can't be doing 25 things and you read a third of chapter 1 and then you jump to a third of chapter 2. You have to read it from chapter 1 all the way through to the end of the book, where you're actually taking notes and your thought process is a little different, right? Because I want to know about the killer question.
Okay, the killer question is how. A lot of times we pray for things, we desire things, and then we get so caught up in the how. I want a new car. Oh my gosh, how is that going to happen? Mm-hmm. I only make $23 an hour, and I got to pay half of what I pay for my rent, this, that. How am I going to do that? How am I going to pay for it? And we get so caught up in the mechanism of how this is going to happen that we don't. Step 5, allow. Get off of how and allow.
Get off of how and allow. And that's interesting that you say that, because I have a saying that I say is hope, faith, prayer, and patience is your power within. One does not work without the other, and they are my heavenly friends. When you pray for something and you be still long enough, you're hoping and you're believing that it's going to come to light. Sometimes the fact that you are impatient gets in the way, and you have to be patient for whatever it is, because when he show up, he shows out. And when I say show out, whatever your perspective of your religion is, that spirit in your life, that's your higher being, because there's a lot of religions out there. So I talk about mine, but everybody has different religions. I feel that we all pray to the same God. Everyone calls him something different in their religion and how they get to their spirit and God. But the basis of it all is that center, to know that there's a higher being that's taking care of your prayers and answering the power that he already put in you when you were born. The thing is, are we patient enough to find it? Because it's already in us, but we don't stop in that patience long enough to get it, to make it happen. You made a chapter in your book regarding bills. Can we talk about that for a moment?
Sure. Gratitude for bills.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a totally kind of counterintuitive concept for most people. Gratitude for bills, but think about it. What are bills? Bills usually come when you pay for something that you've already received.
So I'm going to stop you right there, because now I want you to lean up and say that right into the camera to our audience. Repeat that.
Bills usually come for something that you've already received.
So tell us about that.
Okay. So if you are looking at bills as debt, I know a lot of people have this thing about debt, getting out of debt. I got to cancel my debt, supernatural debt, cancellation debt. Energy flows where attention goes. So if all you're doing is focus on debt, the concept of debt, you're virtually guaranteeing that you're going to stay in debt. But if you just change your perspective a little bit to one of gratitude, wow, I'm really grateful, and make it a gratitude payment for what I've already seen. Wow, I'm grateful that I have a car to drive and I'm paying this car. No, I'm grateful to pay this mortgage for this home that I live in. I'm grateful to pay this credit card off for the things that I bought on it. And it's a whole different perspective. And when you change your mind, everything around you is going to change.
Okay. Now, I know you to be an excellent father of 2 young men. 3. I'm sorry. Don't correct me. Let me try to get it all out. This dude is just, hey, security? Let me get it out. I seen you on Facebook, and they're gorgeous. The boys, they're grown men, but they are absolutely gorgeous, and they got long dreadlocks, and they're just like really cool young men. You know, one of them was about my son's age, but as a perspective of being a great father, you know, and I say a great father because I've seen photos of you with them. I know that you spend time with your young men. I think 2 are still in college.
2 are in college.
Okay,
yes.
see, I got that right. Okay, and it's just great to have dad there while you're trying to accomplish some things. And even if you weren't present in their lives, I'm sure that their mindset they would be okay because they're putting themselves in certain perspectives to help them to be. But with you in their lives, it gives them more of a perspective of that balance and how things could be and the possibilities of the outcome happening faster because they have that support. So as a father, having written this book, and your young man comes home with this book, and you knew nothing about Todd Ledbetter, and you read this book because your son gave it to you, how would that make you feel that one of your children were able to share the wisdom that's in this book?
It would make me feel good, and it would give me a sense of satisfaction that my son had connected with something, and then when he reads it, he says, I have permission to be who I am. And not try to fit into someone else's box, try to be a round peg in someone else's square hole, that I can pursue my own path and make my unique contribution to the world in my own way. And that's really what we want as parents, right? We want our children, especially as fathers. I know mothers have this thing, oh, my baby's leaving. Fathers, that's what we want. We went to those sports practices and all the other stuff that we did to prepare you to come up and go out into the world.
Where my wine? Where my little magic bling wine over here?
You making me disappear.
That movie Little, and she said, I wish. No, my comment on that is simply that, we as people, whether we are men or women, and we are raising children, there are many single women out there and single men that are raising their kids.
Right.
And for me, whether the other is there or not. So if you're a woman raising kids and the dad's not there, or you're a dad raising kids and the woman isn't there, as in, you're solely taking care of them, you end up doing both. And so as women, we are fathers too, to a certain degree, when the father's not solely present, because we're teaching that individual different things. And as the woman that brought the child into the world, and we're the nurturers that bring in a grown man that develops to where you are now, you came from one of us. And whether the dad was there or not, that mother is still a mother and a father. But as women raising young men, we bring men into their lives because we're not a man. And there are certain things that as a woman, we can't teach a man to do because another man needs to teach it, basically on the feelings of how to receive and to understand, and then put it back out into the world, but still be whole within yourself. Some of those things a man needs to teach a man to do. But us as mothers that are doing that, we can't turn a blind eye to the very powerful women that have given and sacrificed to raise their children when the man wasn't present. And then when you flip that script, like I'm going to flip over the back of the book, when you flip the script on it, and that man is now raising those children without the woman present, he too is mom and dad because he has to do certain things to take care of his young people and instilling in them, even though it's just you and me, we got this, we're gonna be fine. You know, and you have your certain standards. That young person will grow up loving and appreciating and respecting the fact that you tried. And that's the word, tried. And then it manifests to them. When I'm speaking to an audience of 3,000, you know, I don't try to hit every single person in the audience because that's impossible. My goal is to get one to listen to what I said, what I shared. And the others, everything that I said will fall on them later. They might think about it a week or two later, but they heard Minnie Fox's voice on stage that day. But one of them is going to be, oh, and they got it. You know, so when you look at the back of your book, just go here. When you look at the back of your book, I love the photo. You know, and we talked about that before, that people say you look just like your photo. Yeah. You look just like your photo. This is all real, girls. This is real. This is real. Look. This is real. So just having some fun here. But on the real tip, tell me why you designed the back cover the way it is.
Well, that was the template that was in Amazon. That's why I did.
Okay, so let's talk about that.
I want to go back to something that you said earlier.
Okay.
That's okay.
Careful.
Okay.
Careful. No,
that's why I asked permission.
I'm just teasing. Go ahead.
Get on the floor and,
Go ahead. It's all cool.
So, you talked about feelings.
Yeah.
And that's really an important concept, and that's so much of what we talk about, and particularly among men. People in general, you know, we tend to like denigrate the idea of feelings. Oh, you all in your feelings. And especially among men, you know, big boys don't cry, et cetera, et cetera. And when we understand what the feeling nature is and what its true intention is, we turn it from a liability to a powerful tool. So think you have a car, right? Does she have a car? Yes, yeah, I know for a fact.
It's all blinged out.
That was
you see me coming 2
miles away. That was a rhetorical question. I know for a fact that you have a car. Now, if you were driving down the road in your car and the check engine light came on, would you like pull out a piece of duct tape and duct tape it over?
No, I actually pull over and I call. The service goes, my check engine light is on. Y'all need to see me real quick. Can you get me in?
And that's why you're Minnie Fox, because you know if the check engine light comes on, you know that it is telling you, hey, something needs to be attended to. And if you ignore it long enough, you're probably going to be buying an engine.
Yes.
Okay. It's the same thing with our feeling natures, because that tells us our degree of alignment with divine will. When we're feeling good, when we're feeling abundant, when we're feeling like, yeah, you ever have those days when you're like, yeah, I'm feeling good, everything is lined up, the shots are just going in the basket without me even trying. You have those days like that, that means you're operating in alignment. You know I'm also a musician, so if I want to play a note, a particular note on my instrument, I literally have to play at the same frequency at that note, or I'm playing out of tune. And before I even play the note, I have to be hearing the note in my head. Because if I don't hear the note in my head before I play it, I won't know if it's the right note or not. Does that make sense?
Okay, yeah.
So
you got to put it into the instrument.
Right. Then I have to blow. Then I play wind instruments, so I have to blow the air through it at a certain frequency, so that it vibrates and hits people's ears and brains at that frequency, so they hear that note. So in like nature, you know, when the things that you want, everything is vibration. So your ideas, your desires, things you want, they all have a frequency.
What is the frequency of your book? Meaning, what are your music notes in this book?
Well,
if you had to put this on a music note, would this be, let's say like this, how about a vocal? Would this be tenor, alto, first tenor, bass? Little soprano.
I don't know. I
think
everything, how I would answer that question is that everything that everybody wants exists as a frequency. And when they're feeling good about it, when they feel like they're making progress to it, they're playing on their frequency. But if they're feeling frustrated, if they're feeling blocked, if they're feeling anxious, if they're feeling oppressed by it, or they feel like they're pressing. You know, when you try to do something, you try to force something into being. I mean, that's just and the reason why we talk about work so much is because we're playing out of tune with the frequency, with the note that we're really trying to play.
Okay, so in layman's terms, for those of you out there, what he just said is that he has bass, tenor, second alto, got a little soprano, and then he hits those Mariah Carey high notes, which I'm not going to do, but they're in this book. And that's what we're talking about. Hard work is overrated. Self-published. Get out there on Amazon and do your thing and purchase. And we want to see Barnes & Nobles. We just opened a new Barnes & Noble, so hopefully you'll be doing a book signing there. We're going to follow your journey. We're going to make some noise for you. We're going to holla. Yeah. But right now I want to do a toast to you real quick. A toast to you on my show. We always do that. So we cheers to your success in life, and we move in for our Kodak moment here. Cheers. Oh, look, he's trying to be a poet and he don't know it. I don't know if anybody ever did that. I got to ask my Roxy Hart if anybody's ever done that. Roxy Hart's my girl. She makes sure everything happens on time, on point for me. And you don't see her, she be like, hey, cut. 1, 2, 3. Stop, Minnie. Good. And then Minnie runs overtime sometimes because I'm Minnie Fox. I can do it. But I like that toast. He did that. That was so cute. Thank you. So, and look,
no, you gotta keep in the same.
Oh, jeez. Cause he a poet and he think I don't know it, and I'm just kidding. So, I have something very special that I do on my show. A lot of times I surprise my guests with different things, and I just really want you to know how excited I am about you publishing your first book. I have 7 in the making. It's a series.
Yes.
Motivationally Speaking, the series of 7. And I've been working on it for several years. And you sat down, you did this, you got it done, and you finished it. So my stilettos are off to you on that note, because it's hard to just focus and get it done because you're busy overworking and trying to make other things happen, and then you just don't really get to it. So my hat's off to you in the stiletto fashion, because I'm a diva, in the stiletto fashion, for you to be able to just glow in the moment. Okay? So with that being said, I need you to close your eyes and give me that hand. That's how we do this. We put this hand right here. And I want you to think that if you ever received a reel of what I'm doing, what would you say to your kids and your mama son about this? Now you can lean a little forward.
I'd like to thank the Academy for this.
Yes. So let's have your half a minute speech.
Okay. There's so many people who have contributed to this great day. I'd like to thank all my family and friends and loved ones who have believed in me, for the people who have worked hard to make this day happen. I would like to thank Queen Diva, Minnie Fox, for allowing me to come on her show on this day and share a little bit of her, and just allow me to breathe her air for a few minutes.
Oh, my air is always sweet and rough. Okay, anyway, lean in a little closer so we can get our Kodak moment.
Okay.
Jeez. Now I want you to look at the base of it that you're holding. What's on there?
Oh, it's got my initials on it. Look at that. That's beautiful.
TL, T to the O to the double D. The LETTTT. BETETTER. Girls, did you write that down? It said Todd. Ledbetter. And we want you to know that this is the beginning of everything that's to come, because the Minnie Fox Talk Show is all about bringing the newness. So I got you before Oprah, before Ellen, before Phil, before Jennifer Hudson, before any of those people.
For the rest of my life,
yes.
I'm going to tell you were my first.
Yes, I was your first. Oh, I was the first. Yes, I was. Y'all make sure that you follow Mr. Todd Ledbetter. Tell them how to find you.
Okay, well, you can go on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook on T-Led-Jazz, TLEDJ. It's easy, or just put my name in, Todd Ledbetter. The book, of course, is available on Amazon. You can search it by my name or by the title. And you can also go to my website, toddledbetter.com, or hardworkisoverrated.com.
Hard work is overrated. Hard work is completely overrated. And you tuned into our show, we need you to share and tell those that you love to be inspired, motivated, educated, and completely tune in to their power within through their hope, faith, prayer, and don't forget the patience, because that is your balance to understand what your power within is all about. Thank you for joining us today. Remember, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. Oh, and TikTok. Check us out. Send us your stories at minifox.com. Minifox, AOL. No, ooh.
AOL.
AOL.
What you know about AOL? You a millennial.
I know, no.
You a
You
Gen
said
Z.
that I was a Gen Z. You told me I was old school. Old school is AOL.
Yeah. So you
Which I did have an AOL. Was Minifox AOL. Don't exist anymore. Now it's Minifox Talk Show at Gmail. All right, y'all, Gmail lovers out there. Minifox Talk Show at Gmail. Go in the description. You'll get more information about Mr. Todd Ledbetter. Make sure that you support. Keep in touch, and we will let you know when you are out there doing your great thing. And say the website one more time.
Hardworkisoverrated.com.
Hardworkisoverrated.com. There you have it right there on the Minifox Talk Show. All right, you guys, go out there and continue to be simply amazing. If you don't do it for yourself, do it for those that are in your life that you love and that you care about, and make sure you do something great today, not tomorrow, today. All right, y'all. It's been real. Say goodbye, Todd.
Peace and blessings.
On the Minute Fox Talk Show with the spotlight shining bright, she brings the stars together underneath the disco light.